Hello my treasures, it's time to betray expectations with a new mercenary team. This one is a twist on a classic, which is a bench buffing team. The idea is to use Elise and Tirion to buff up our bench so we can one-shot our opponent with 3 really powerful attack-based mercenaries. Older versions of the team would use Sky Admiral Rogers as your caster on the bench. However, Lord Godfrey is just a way better caster for this team, especially because you can use him to abuse the Golden Monkey if you somehow get it off of Elise. Now for the Mercenary by Mercenary Breakdown, the first one is going to be Elise. We're mainly going to be using her for Quest of the Golden Monkey. Then for her equipment, we're going to be using Oasis Canteen, and you can use her as a little bit of a survivability tool through Guiding Path. Tirion is the next mercenary on the team, using him for Ashbringer. Mainly going to be using him for Divine Assault, and sometimes reducing the attack of one of our opponent's key attacking mercenaries down to 1. Uther is the third mercenary on the team. We are using Liberum of Sacrifice. We're mainly going to be using Blessing of Protection on Tirion if our opponent is playing a bunch of attack mercenaries. Otherwise, you're going to be using Hammer of Justice. The fourth mercenary on the team is Illidan, who we are going to be using Warglaives of Azeroth. The fifth mercenary on the team is Cariel. Cariel, we're using Hammer of the Dawn as her equipment, so we have a big AoE heal whenever we nuke something with her first ability. Finally, we have the Lord Godfrey, who we're using Worgen Tooth Necklace as his equipment, and mainly using him for Brutal Backhand. When it comes to these final 3 mercenaries, it really depends on what your opponent's team is based around. If it is mainly casters, then you're going to put down Illidan first. If it is mainly fighters, Cariel, and if it's mainly protectors, Godfrey. Now let's look at some games. All right, let's see what this person has in store for us. Nagas? Oh shit, this should be fun. Now, I don't actually know what we should be targeting here. In theory, we should be targeting Fathom Lord. I'm also starting to realize I don't think I've ever done anything with Fathom Lord. But we're going to put the taunt on Tirion because I'm hoping that they'll actually kill Tirion, which is always really nice. Okay, they're trying to go after Elise. I don't actually mind them going after Elise. Oh, they're just going to spread their damage. Okay, that's good. All right, let's put the trap up and then put the shield. I kind of want to use Humility on Ajara just to get some of the damage in, at least before they kill Tirion. Probably not the best play, but it still works pretty well, or should work pretty well. All right, they're still going after Elise. They're actually almost making Fathom Lord look decent. Well, the Divine Shield is technically not what I want to see, but it's still fine. Putting down Godfrey next. I know he's not buffed up too much, but the nice thing is the ads actually count as an additional type of mercenary, so we should be able to nuke Fathom Lord, Ajara, and the one ad. I think we're quicker. I could be wrong. Just going to heal everything up. Probably shouldn't really have done that, but I do kind of want to see if we can get Elise to stick around so we can get the Golden Monkey. But I guess we're not going to. Okay, so just going to put these two. I'm curious if they're full on Naga or they have some type of different bench. If they're full, that's actually a lot more interesting than if they're just Naga on front line and then something like Explorers. I know that was a team that was floating around quite a long time ago at this point. See, now that is a mercenary that's actually really, really good. At least when people were playing a bunch of summoning based builds, that team felt awesome. Would be cool if that double damage hit there, but I guess I'm just going to be able to win out right here. Then they just have one thing on bench. And they go up. Okay, so let's see what this person has in store for us. If I remember right, they've been playing a lot of Frost. I don't know if this person is a bot or if it's an actual player, but we'll see what's up. Because if I remember right, they did actually change the location of their individual mercenaries, which makes me think they're not. And I think a few times they've actually wrote to me, so maybe, I don't know. I recognize the name, though. Okay, so they are going to be Frost. So Khadgar is going to be a big problem for us. The problem with Khadgar is the fact that his abilities are 5. However, if we play it smart, we can use Hammer of Justice on Khadgar every single turn. And by using it every single turn on Khadgar, we should be able to actually beat him with a lot of our attack abilities, which is always really nice. It really depends on where local R hits, but that's perfect. We actually wanted Tirion dead. Okay, so how do we want to do this? I think Godfrey is probably what we want to put down. We could also try Cariel. Cariel would allow us to heal if we hit Boggy, but I think Godfrey just allows us to clear out more, and that's what we really want to do. All right, we're going to speed that up again, just in case for the following turn. They probably are going to use the fire ability on Khadgar, but it's still fine. We don't want to really speed up local R. I mean, we could try, but that kind of hurts us more than it helps us. Yeah, fire ability there. AoE there. Oh, yes, we'll still have the one shot on Boggy. Let's rid of that. I hate that it keeps the protection even after it dies. All right, now who do we want to put down next? I think we want to put down Illidan. Illidan lets us nuke the 2 casters. Uther, we're still going... Oh, we're actually hitting a local R. I mean, that also works. We probably should have... Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter. If we hit local R, they're already sped up for this turn. So we should, in theory, be quicker no matter what. I say no matter what, but I don't know if the transformation resets their speed increases or not. It's been a while since I've actually used Khadgar in anything. Okay, Hailstorm. It's the Hammer of Justice. They kill Uther, which is fine. Actually, don't mind Uther being gone. We get rid of local R and Nemzi, and then we get rid of Khadgar. Then we can just put down Tirion, Cariel. From here, I think, trying to remember what this team has on bench. It should be Bane, Tyrande, and Sinestra, if I remember right. All right, well, let's try to nuke that totem. Then let's use Blade Dance. Blade Dance is the slowest ability, but I think this should get rid of most of their board. As long as we're quicker... Oh, they're actually healing. That seems like a mistake, but I'm not them, so we're not going to question it. There we go. Gets rid of both of those, and all we have to deal with is Sinestra next turn, which we should be able to do incredibly easily. There we go, and voila. Okay, let's see what they have in store for us. Murlocs! Cool! Some variety for once. And that is that is not what I would use it to start the game, to be honest. Murgle isn't bad, Sir Finley isn't bad, but literally any of the 3 mercenaries that were on their bench I would have preferred to have on this starting line if I was them. I mean, at least it's some variety. We're going after Tirion, which is actually fine. I'm always curious of why people actually go after Tirion first. Doesn't really make too much sense. This should keep Tirion alive, maybe. We also probably should have... I don't know. We probably should have put the taunt on Uther. Oh, never mind. He lives. They're going to heal. Right, so that's all good. I think Illidan is what we're going to put down next, because they do have 2 casters, and we should be able to just nuke them. Let's heal, then use Outcast attack. I guess try to make Sir Finley slower. I do really kind of hate that equipment when I'm playing against it. All right, so we're gonna throw a boulder at Murgle. I don't know if we should have done it like that, to be honest. We probably should have just attacked into Sir Finley, because that was going to happen. Okay, Illidan's gone. Let's put down Godfrey. Okay, so if we put Godfrey down... Actually, Godfrey... You know what? Godfrey isn't actually that bad, because we can use Golden Monkey then pistol barrage for once, and then nuke the fighter, I guess. Okay, there is our pistol barrage. Finley is just hanging on there by a thread. All right, and what other AoE do we have? We don't really actually have that much AoE right now. Though, we can one target removal. Yeah, we can do this. I'm pretty sure this is going to be... I'd be shocked if it doesn't, but playing it a little bit safe, just in case for some weird reason Golden Monkey doesn't buff it up, and it does. It's just the tooltip doesn't work. Okay. And now this turn, we just gotta deal with the last Murloc alive, and voila, we'll win. Okay, let's see what this person has in store for us. Interesting. I don't actually know what this... I'm curious what the bench is going to look like. I'm going to target Millhouse, because I think Millhouse has the chance of doing the most damage. I know Malcazar technically does too, but I'm not really too much worried about him. Perfect. Yes. Go after Tirion. It's exactly what we want to see. Oh, they're actually going after Uther. Most people don't ever target Uther first, which is kind of interesting. He is literally the weakest mercenary on the team. He's really just in here as a way to force people to target Tirion. I actually thought about maybe including Reno instead, but I ended up liking this version a little bit better. The only plus side of maybe running Reno instead would be having an Orc caster on board. But as long as the sixth mercenary isn't another fighter, Leroy was something that I almost wanted to use on this team, and I did very briefly. And by very briefly, I mean I put him in the team and I was like, I have to make the decision between Illidan and Leroy, and I really just want to use a mercenary that I haven't used before. And I don't actually think I've used Leroy either, which is kind of weird to say. So that should nuke all three. We're no longer behind, and now we just have to deal with whatever's on the bench. I'm telling you, Godfrey, like, this team feels extremely unexplored and feels extremely nice. Uther lets you deal with Khadgar, which is the main problem with a team like this. You just keep using Hammer of Justice on Khadgar to slow them down each turn. Then they can never slow or root you, which is really, really nice. If you somehow can get Elise actually left alive until you put down something like Illidan or even Lord Godfrey, you just have a way to nuke the board, even not relying on attack. There's just so many different possibilities that you could try out. All right, let's try to hit like this. I'm hoping I would have preferred that to hit Tronde, but that's fine. Interesting bench, though. Okay, and then we just have to finish them off like this. And voila! Yeah. Okay, three fighters, 3 protectors. What team could this be? Oh, shit! Okay, so it's going to be Orcs. I tried out extremely briefly a team that I may or may not revisit, depending on how I'm feeling. A Orc team. Except I was using Tronde as a way to duplicate Drekthar's third ability whenever you have a friendly Orc die, which is actually not a bad idea, because Samuro's echoes actually count as an Orc dying. Okay, so sorry to tell you this, but Godfrey is going to show you the might of God here. Kind of want to protect Godfrey just in case. Okay, so, oh, they actually put up a taunt. Okay. That means we sadly won't be able to one-shot their entire board. Would have been cool if we could have, but it is fine. It's fine. It's fine. We buff everything else up. We put up the taunt again, and then go after Garrosh. All right. We got lucky there. They rammed themselves into us. Okay, now we just have to deal with the bench, which isn't going to be the easiest with our current board. Godfrey's going to probably die, We'll probably bring in Cariel, I'd assume, next. Okay, so how do we want to do this? I think I go after Rakar first just because of PTSD from Leroy and what is the other mercenary I'm forgetting? Smite. Okay. I mean that would be a really good reason to run. Holy shit. I didn't realize like how many ads you could summon in that team. That's actually a really cool idea for being your bench. I don't know if it's the strongest orc bench, but it's an interesting idea. I also just realized, I think I have a real fun idea, or I think I'm going to try to make orcs work next week. Or a variant of orcs, I should say. Of course it hits the golden monkey. Of course, out of all the things it could have hit, well, at least we get a full heal. We get to put these down. Buff everything else up. Attack into Samuro. Oh, and they give up. Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the build. So overall, this is an idea that I've been wanting to revisit for quite a while. It's been a long time since I've done anything with bench buffing, and given the fact that we finally do have a really good attack-based caster mercenary, this team got even stronger in the last batch of Mercs. However, there are a few things that are worth mentioning here. I was not able to find all the matchups that I really wanted to, which is becoming an increasing problem as the weeks go by, as there are less and less players actually playing a mercenary. Which means it's becoming increasingly likely that I'll probably run out of players to play against before I run out of ideas for the game mode and videos covering it. But until then, I'm going to try my hardest to come up with new and fun wacky builds, or at least a little bit longer. And if you've been wanting to do something a little bit different outside of the stereotypical builds, this is a perfect one to choose, as I can't really think of a build that would easily counter this one. Now, like always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye bye.